Welcome to the One Beautiful Yes podcast. I'm Tiana Dotson, and I'm your host. I'm a fat health coach, and I'm out to destroy the belief that you have to be skinny to be happy and healthy. It's the end of 2012, and I'm in the first week of my health coach training program. I am enthusiastically scrolling through the other students' bios to see who I was going to be learning with. And my excitement curdled into anxiety the more I read and the more that I realized that I was surrounded by physical trainers, yoga teachers, and people who had gone vegan before it was cool. I felt myself physically shrinking in front of my computer. I just didn't know how I was going to fit in this picture. I mean, I love me a pork chop. I can hardly be called Gumby. And while I love moving my body, the thought of doing it in front of someone who's shouting at me makes me feel like I'm that kid in the gym class who can't run the mile. So while I had been really excited about jumping in and participating, now I felt that old familiar feeling that I needed to go to the metaphorical back of the room and stand against the wall so I wouldn't impede on anybody's space with my too big body. But despite all of that, I still had high hopes for a transformation because, you see, a few days earlier, the founder of the program had earnestly promised us, you're gonna feel it. You will experience a massive transformation. You'll be amazed. And in my mind, that meant that I was gonna get really skinny in the course of the training. I could finally achieve that successful thin after photo situation that you see plastered all over social media on Transformation Tuesdays. And I might be in the back of the room now, but I'd be allowed to join the skinny people in the front of the row by the end. And it was nothing like that. I mean, I didn't get any thinner. In fact, I think I was actually bigger by the end. I didn't get the transformation I expected at all. But I did get one that was even better. So over the course of the program, I tried a bunch of new stuff. It was encouraged, but it also just kind of came naturally with what I was learning. Because I was learning all about the different types of diets that are out there. So I learned how all of the experts, they totally believe absolutely opposite things from each other. I mean, you've got the people who love carbs over here, and then the people who hate carbs over there, the people who think that fat is the enemy, and then the people who tell you that fat is your savior. And of course, you've got the paleo people, the vegans, the gluten-free evangelists, all of them. There are so many different types of diets out there and ways of eating. But ultimately, I found out that there's really just no one right way to be healthy. Health is fucking individual. Okay, so what does that mean? I mean, it means that what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for you, or for the next person for that matter. It means that while a green smoothie might be the answer to all of your woes, it might make me sick. And it means that the lifestyle changes that might result in your body getting smaller might make mine bigger. And why is that? Well, it's because your body is individual. Your genetics, your location, your habits, your racial heritage, your body makeup, all these things have an impact on your physical self, and no two bodies are alike, just none. So that means that there is no one right answer to health. It means that you have to always approach health and habit changes with a sense of curiosity and experimentation. And just FYI, this is an absolutely huge topic, and I can have a whole discussion on it on its own. But in the meantime, if you're curious, shoot me an email and we'll dive into it. So getting back to it, your body is individual. And it's incredibly important to know this because people are making absolute fortunes just ridiculous amounts of cash off of trying to say that they have the answer for health. They can unlock the smallness inside of you and let that thin person out. And just for 27 payments of $19.99, they'll teach it to you. And some of these people who are doing this are health coaches. And you have to understand that, health coaches tend to be zealots. If you ask any inspiring or aspiring health coach what brought them to it, the story is usually one of finding the cure to whatever ails them through better diet and exercise. They have suffered something, and the god health came and saved them. So they are converted, and they become his prophets. And so you can try to show them why all the scientific studies about how weight loss surgery cures everything from diabetes to joint pain to being single and unappreciated are wrong. But it's like trying to prove to hardcore fundamentalist Christians that the earth was not literally created in 7 days. In matters of religion, you are arguing against the faith and belief system of the other person. And with health coaches, living their healthiest lives is like their covenant, the one that will stave off disease and age and fragility and ultimately death. I mean, I am myself also a zealot. I believe in health at every size. I believe that your body size does not have to decide your health status. I also believe that no one owes anyone else to be or become healthy. I believe your only obligation is to live the best life that you can within your abilities, situation, and reality. And that I will never stop talking about. And there's no right way to be healthy. I will never stop talking about that because it's true. Just think about the fact that 30 years ago, that was the enemy. So we took it out of all of our foods and replaced it with sugar because food didn't taste good anymore. And now we know that actually sugar is not really so great in huge amounts either. The body is just so much more complex than we know. And we're just starting to understand that. So many healthcare professionals have told me that losing weight would solve my problems. And so I went off and I lost the weight and none of my problems were solved. Just none of them. And then in the end, I gained the weight back. And I was back at square one and even further down. But when I decided to start focusing on my feelings, doing the things that I love, not what I was supposed to do, I found that I could love my body and make healthier choices for myself effortlessly. Granted, none of that has made me thinner. But chasing thinness made me fucking miserable and had me feeling tortured every goddamn step of the way. Today, I feel so much more capable of doing things for myself. I feel more motivated to take good care of myself, more in touch with my body, and more likely to go see a doctor when I can't take care of something on my own. And I really want that for you too. I want you to know that your body is your body, and you get to decide how or if you move it. You get to decide how you feel about it. You get to decide how you feed yourself. You get to decide what feels good and what feels bad. And you get to decide what health looks like for you. So until we talk again, try taking this one step. Think about one thing that you've taken to be true about your body. Maybe you take it for granted that you're too big to go on a date, that your arms are too large to wear tank tops, or that your feet are too big to go open-toed. Whatever that thought is, just gently question it. Where did it come from? Whose voice do you hear when you ask that question? Is it really true? Do you want to keep believing it? So thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to continue our conversation next time. And remember, I'm always here for you to get my best tips and strategies for finding you're healthy, come visit me at my website, tianadodson.com. That's TIANADODSON.com. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, you can get in touch with me at my email address, which is tiana@tianadodson.com. You can find me at One Beautiful Yes on Twitter, Tiana the Coach on Facebook, and if you like the podcast, then please rate, review, or subscribe, or do all three. I have been Tiana, a fat health coach. Have a great day.